Right, and let's speak to the man himself, Ambassador Husain Haqqani. He's on phone with us now from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome, Ambassador Haqqani, here to Express 24/7 this evening. First of all, Monceau Rogers has said that he has sent that memo, and he's also been speaking of some text messages received from you. And, of course, you've denied any links with this controversial memo. But what confuses many Pakistanis here is that Admiral Mike Mullen himself has admitted to have received that memo.
Admiral Mike Mullen acknowledges receiving a memo which he did not see first and did not consider credible. Here is the simple answer. If I had given a memo to Admiral Mullen, who has been a guest at my home, and whose home I have been a guest at, it would have been more credible. Here is a man whom Admiral Mullen says he did not know. Yes, he's an influential man because he's a rich man, so he probably knew somebody who was able to deliver his memo to Admiral Mullen. But to embroil me and to connect me, I would be very happy if Mr. Ejaz said he wrote a memo and he delivered a memo which he thought was in the interest of Pakistan and the United States. That would be the honorable thing for him to do. To say that he did it on my behest and thereby creating a civil-military divide in Pakistan is at best unthought out, and at worst meant to create a crisis in Pakistan.
All right. And here in Pakistan, Ambassador Haqqani, certain sections of the press and some politicians believe that you might have a hand in that memorandum being drafted because you have served for a long time as a link between the civilian governments of Pakistan and the United States.
Well, when I am the link between the civilian government and the United States, why should I try to find a man who is so unreliable that on a whim he ends up exposing what he says was a conspiracy? Now, good conspirators don't reveal their role. If he really was playing a secret emissary, what kind of a secret emissary is this that he writes an op-ed article explaining his role? And ironically, that article received no attention in the international media because it was published in the Financial Times. Yes, a rich man has influence and connections to get an article published in the Financial Times.
All right,
you've done that. Nobody in the international media paid attention to it. Only one man who has old connections with Mr. Ejaz in the Pakistani media, and you can Google his name, the first man who wrote an article about it, and Mr. Monceau Rogers' name together, and you will find how since 1993, Mr. Monceau Rogers has received tremendous publicity in Pakistan through one interlocutor. That person created more attention towards this memo and then created an issue. Was there a memo? No one is saying there wasn't a memo. Of course, Monceau Rogers wrote a memo. Of course, he had it delivered through someone. But has Admiral Mullen said that he believed the memo came from President Zardari? No. Did he say that it came from Husain Haqqani? No. And the fact remains that if I needed to give any memo, I have the courage of my convictions to write it myself and deliver it myself. I did not write this memo. I did not deliver this memo. I did not ask anybody to write this memo. I did not ask anybody to deliver this memo. And this controversy is not about BBM messages, etc., and text messages and all those complications. And one particular editor is running all of that without taking into consideration the deeper question. The military relations in Pakistan after Abbottabad were good.
Ambassador Haqqani, you've been referring to Monceau Rogers in your replies just now as an unreliable man, as a very rich man who could have had influence to have this memorandum being published. Who is Monceau Rogers? We are wondering here. Where does he surface all of a sudden on the scene and carries out what you say that he's been doing? Have you known him before? Who could he be working for?
With all due respect, considering that for 4 weeks, Pakistan's media has been going on and on about Monceau Rogers and his memo, it should be the duty of all Pakistani journalists to just Google the name and find out everything that has been published by him about him. That should be the basis, not what I say. Now, do I know him? Of course I know him. Have I interacted with him? Definitely I've interacted with him. He's a man of tremendous resources. He was politically connected. He plays a role sometimes, attempts to play a role. He writes articles in various newspapers, and to me is a respectable man.
Okay.
And until this recent incident, I had no reason to believe otherwise. I always thought he believed in certain things. I did not agree with him, but I thought he was somebody worth engaging for the sake of Pakistan.
Okay, right.
This incident has made me wonder what his motivations might be.
All right, you're expected here in Pakistan tonight. Could you tell us when would you actually arrive here, Ambassador Haqqani? And you would be given a chance...
I do not have my itinerary in front of me, but I am scheduled to start my journey tonight. As you know, there are no direct flights from Pakistan to the United States, so I am coming via the Middle East. My travel agent has made arrangements. There are 2 or 3 alternative flights we have booked for various kinds of reasons.
Okay.
I also, you will probably sympathize with me that because of all the controversy, because of all the running around, and I've also been doing my job as ambassador uninterrupted throughout this period. I met 4 congressional committee chairmen yesterday. I attended an event last night. So since this morning, my blood pressure has been relatively high, which you can probably sense in my voice. My doctor is coming to see me in an hour. As per his advice, I may adjust my flights, but I will be in Pakistan very soon.
All right. And I'm sure you're aware, Ambassador Haqqani, that here in Pakistan, inquiries are being demanded and parliamentary and Senate meetings have been sought. And of course, it's being said by the highest authorities that you would be given a chance to explain yourself. How would you like to see this matter being investigated?
I want this matter to be investigated in the broadest sense. The real issue is not communication, this, that. The real issue is what are the motives of different people. I have served Pakistan. I have served Pakistani democracy. I defended Pakistan's military and intelligence services right after the Osama bin Laden raid. I stood up for Pakistan on all issues as ambassador. So, an individual out of the blue coming out and embroiling me into this, and then some people in the media and some people who have never liked me as ambassador because of their ideological
yeah, this was my question. Why would
gone on an attack on me? I want something that is a complete investigation that is focused not on these so-called texts and redacted texts and real texts. The real issue is, did a memo originate from me? Why did I not give the memo from myself, which would have been more credible? Did anyone in the U.S. government take this memo seriously? And was there really a threat to the civilian government? And why is Mr. Ejaz opening up this Pandora's box if he had in fact undertaken a secret mission?
And you've also been...
what kind of a secret emissary writes about his secret mission himself?
You've said that this is a...
I'm sure James Bond and Mr. Ejaz can write an article, an op-ed together, and I'm sure the Financial Times will publish it.
Right, and you've also termed this scandal a conspiracy and propaganda against you. I'm curious to find out who would not want you in the ambassador's position there? Who could Monceau Rogers be working for, and who would not want stronger ties between the governments of Pakistan and the US?
Look, Mr. Monceau Rogers, the Monceau Rogers that I knew, I thought was somebody who cared about the United States. He always says, I'm an American citizen, I care about America first.
So do you know who is he working for right now? Who could he be working for?
The actions he has taken have hurt the one person who is recognized in Pakistan as America's publicly recognized friend. So why has he done it? This is a question you should pose to him. He has to answer that, not me.
All right. And who would not want, as I asked you earlier, stronger ties between the governments of Pakistan and US?
Well, you know how many people there are in Pakistan who keep making speeches every few days that Pakistan and America should break up or Pakistan should not be a slave to America. They believe that, and I don't deny them their beliefs. But because of their beliefs, they have created an industry in Pakistan of suspecting those who sincerely want good relations with Pakistan. Look, political debate should be about ideas. I should be allowed to say good relations with America are in Pakistan's interest. Somebody should come back and say, no, they are not in Pakistan's interest. But the way we have the debate, one side calls the other Ghaddar or traitor or agent or lackey, and they do not allow for honest debate. And under that environment, some people are simply trying to take political advantage of the situation.
Right.
And Mr. Ejaz's motives, I still cannot understand.
Right. You've also clarified, one final question, you've clarified earlier, Ambassador Haqqani, that you have not given a resign yet, but you have offered to resign. I'm just curious, how would your resignation help matters? What impact could it have on the cause of better Pakistan-US relations if you resign?
Well, the point is that obviously whoever has orchestrated this whole crisis does not care about US-Pakistan relations. They do not care who serves as ambassador in Washington, D.C. But I care deeply about protecting President Asif Zardari and the democratically elected government in Pakistan. And so, if my resignation will help Prime Minister Gilani and President Zardari diffuse the crisis and move on, and Pakistan can then move on, then the inquiry can go on forever. We still have the Abbottabad Commission inquiry. The Abbottabad incident happened on May 1, May 2, and today is 18th of November, and still that commission has yet to come up with its findings. So a commission can go on forever, and it can take a long time. I do not want this so-called memo gate to be kept alive, given that there are 3 or 4 media personalities who want to keep it alive, and their purpose is only to create fear, to scare ordinary soldiers in the Pakistani military, ordinary people in Pakistani homes, to be totally scared about some invisible American-Pakistani conspiracy, to see Husain Haqqani as this conspiratorial man working with some guy who lives in Europe now and is an American citizen but is from a Pakistani family. So this whole crisis will just strain the system. And all I'm saying is, if in their wisdom, President Zardari and President Gilani think that my removal will ease the situation, I am happy. Look, I am not doing a job.
So what have they said to you so far, Ambassador Haqqani, about leaving your position? Have they said anything, the President and the Prime Minister? Have they asked you to step down?
No one has asked me to leave the position. No one has said that I have not done a good job as ambassador. All they have asked is that I come to Pakistan and help an inquiry and give an explanation, and I'm happy to do that. But at the same time, let me just say one thing. There are people who are sending me threatening emails. There are people who are leaving threatening phone messages at the embassy and at me because of the false media campaign that has been created that paints me as an enemy agent, as an American lackey. That is threatening my life. We all know what happened to Mr. Salman Taseer when some people in the media painted him as a blasphemer. So therefore, those security concerns have been created by some people. But I'm a proud Pakistani. I'm someone who loves and cares about Pakistan. My opinions and my views might be very different from a lot of people in Pakistan, but my patriotism is exactly the same. I am not some person.
Would you say that you've
person or some television anchor who makes it their business to question other people's patriotism? But that said, I will serve as long as President Zardari and Prime Minister Gilani want me to serve. I will answer all questions, and at the same time, I will do my duty till the moment I am told not to do it.
Ambassador Haqqani, Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Husain Haqqani, speaking to us live from Washington, D.C.